We're going to look at Season 6, Episode 4 of the American sitcom Friends. The episode is called The One Where Joey Loses His Insurance. So, we're going to look at a plot summary of the episode and then analyze some of the scenes. The scenes are chosen for the vocabulary that they use as well as their importance in the story. This week we are focusing on idioms and expressions, although we'll perhaps talk about selected scenes in the discussion part later, as well as the personalities of the main characters. First then, we need to run over the backstory from what had happened in an earlier episode of the season. Rachel and Ross actually got married after partying in Las Vegas. They'd agreed to annul or cancel the marriage, but secretly Ross didn't go through with the procedure. He's always loved Rachel and wants to stay married to her. So later Rachel will find out that they are still married. However, they're just friends and are now preparing to move in together. We begin the episode with Rachel packing her things and preparing to move. In another storyline, Phoebe returns from visiting a psychic who had told her that she's going to die in a week. Meanwhile, Ross has become a guest lecturer at NYU and gets so nervous at his first lecture he adopts an English accent. Elsewhere, Joey discovers that he has lost his medical insurance since he hasn't been working enough as an actor. He can't get treatment for his hernia, which affects his auditions. Right, so let's view some dialogue from what we are going to call Scene 1, paying special attention to the highlighted terms in blue. In the opening scene, Ross is helping Rachel pack. He finds that Rachel has an item that he needs and jokes that she completes him or makes him feel like a real person. It is actually how he feels. He also uses the term matey in what seems like a fake British accent, although it could be Australian. It anticipates his phony accent at the lecture. Matey is informal British English for friend. Phoebe can tell Ross's real feelings, but Ross responds defensively to her, claiming that she in fact loves Rachel. The phrase "it all adds up" refers to evidence that fits together to prove something. The phone then rings, which helps Ross to escape from an awkward and uncomfortable situation. The expression "saved by the bell" basically means this kind of lucky escape. Okay, so we have more detailed definitions of the highlighted dialogue vocabulary in blue. Here is scene 2. Phoebe has just been to a psychic, which usually refers to a fortune teller, but can refer to anyone with a kind of mental superpower or extra sensory perception. Phoebe tells everyone she's gonna die, gonna being an abbreviation of going to, which is usually used to express a certain or planned future. In this case, it describes the worst kind of fate. She uses the term bummed out to refer to her depression and anxiety too. Lastly, we have the term psychic reading, which is similar to telling or reading someone's fortune or future in this context. And we also have the definitions again. In scene 3, Phoebe pretends to die and makes a kind of comic impression of what she thinks she will look like when she dies. Rachel asks her what she's doing, and she realizes they're not fooled. Did that not come off? She asks. If something comes off, it succeeds. Rachel, without really trying, attempts to tell her she believed it. She says, "You scared the hell out of me," to express how supposedly terrified she was. She adds that she thought they had lost her, which means she thought she had died. Okay, so we can see the definitions again and continue on. In scene 4, Joey goes to see his agent, who actually believes that Joey has left her for another agent. They all come crawling back, she replies, meaning that people return to her and apologize and want forgiveness. Joey tells her he never actually left, and her response is, "No harm, no foul." This is when some action or misunderstanding can be forgiven and forgotten if it didn't cause any damage. Estelle informs Joey that someone has been bad-mouthing or spreading bad rumors about him. We learn this is why he hasn't had any work and then has lost his health insurance. She says that damage control is the first step to solve the problem, which means to limit the impact or negative effect of a bad situation. Now we can cover scene 5. Chandler finds Joey lying in the fetal position, which is the position of an unborn baby in the womb. He's suffering from serious pain, which he refers to as blinding pain, so he can't go to his auditions to try and get new parts. He explains that he was lifting weights, also known as doing weight training, when he passed out or fell unconscious. Chandler is very worried about him and advises him to go to the doctor. Okay, so in scene 6 we return to Joey and Chandler. Chandler offers to pay for Joey's treatment, but Joey refuses. He doesn't want the repaying or paying back of the debt hanging over his head. This is when something stresses you out and you can't relax until it's solved. He believes he can get treatment when his health insurance kicks in, meaning when it starts. There is some comic confusion about what treatment he requires, though. This brings us to scene 6, where Phoebe and Joey joke that they might actually die together. She jokes with him that he better hurry, as she's going to die before Friday. She uses the expression, "I'm out of here," the abbreviation of "I'm out of here." Phoebe adds that they can both haunt the others, which means they'll keep appearing suddenly as ghosts after they die to scare them. So in this section of dialogue, we have the definitions in blue at the bottom. Let's have a look at scene 7, where Ross discusses how to change his accent back to normal after putting on a fake British accent. So he did this because of nerves when presenting his first lecture. Monica and Rachel suggest he phase it out, which is to reduce over time to a stopping point. The expression fade out, which is just to reduce, is also used. Scene 8 continues with Rachel and Monica playing phone pranks on Ross, pretending to have different accents. So a prank is a kind of trick you play on someone for fun. Another term for a prank is a practical joke. Then Phoebe arrives and informs them that her psychic has actually died. Apparently, it was the psychic's fate to die, and she made a mistake when giving Phoebe a reading. Scene 9 is the last scene we'll cover. We see Ross attempting to phase out his accent. The students pick up on it and ask him what's happening. Ross confesses that he was nervous and that the original accent is in fact fake. He admits that he screwed up or made a mistake because he wants them to have a good reaction to him. He wanted to make a good impression. Someone might want to make a good impression when first meeting someone or on the first day of some important event. For the close of the scene in the episode, Rachel bursts in after having found out they are still married. Ross becomes nervous and embarrassed, and comically, his reaction is to adopt the British accent again. Okay, so that brings this video to a close. We've looked at the plot summary of the episode and analysed different scenes to learn about the different personality traits of the main characters. Plus, we've covered a lot of everyday vocabulary and idioms used in context. Right, so thanks very much then, and see you next time.